but if it's okay, and then I will take care of the slides.
Good. It's recording now.
Okay.
Well, whatever.
Is it recording? Yeah, okay. But then we will have to cut it, and I'm not sure how it's done, but...
Disco Inferno. This is going to be so awesome. We have 1,013 people waiting. Was there 13?
I'm one of
them. Thank you. Thank you. Virtual hugs.
Jeg sætter den i gang nu, så
ja.
Tager du mikrofonen, tager den på, eller?
Nej, for så glemmer jeg at lægge den, så jeg har faktisk tænkt mig at bare have den her.
Okay.
Og så lægge den, fordi så vil jeg egentlig skubbe den her over til dig.
Fint, det prøver jeg. Jeg rykker deroppe med der.
Ja.
Yes. Okay.
Hvis du lige giver mig et thumbs up, når du kører, så kan jeg lige blive velkommen.
Yes. Jeg trykker go live nu.
Yes. Easy does it. I'm very slowly getting away. It's the same 30-second delay as
Det er sådan en slut live. Så hvis man sådan en teknologi, man publisher her.
just making sure that it's also on. So we're just giving it 30 seconds to get the YouTube views on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hello and a very warm welcome from cold Denmark to, well, basically the entire world. We're extremely happy that you would join us for this sparkling day with the announcement of the IoT Week Public Expo. We're just sort of swimming a bit backwards just for another 2, maybe 3 minutes to get the last participants coming in. And we just heard that some had a little bit of an issue. So just give it 1 to 2 minutes. Please find a cup of coffee and be ready. And we'll start within the next 120 seconds. Could be super cool if we had some dancers or something up here. Looking at the audience in the room. Ellers gå af det trådløst net, at du får i den der. Oh yeah, full coverage in 4G. Should we do this? I think we are. How does it look on your side, Rasmus? Cool. Yeah. Well, I think that was it. And thank you again, all of you, very much for joining. And the reason, let's start by that, the reason why we have two different communication channels is actually, again, our urge to challenge the status quo. But the last time we did a YouTube streaming session, some of the issues were that the screen was not that clear during the stream. So we actually today added GoToMeeting, and you'll find that right underneath the live stream in YouTube, and you're more than welcome to join. In this way, you will also be able to join the discussion and see the slides. And of course, everything again today will be recorded, so you can revisit and share with all of your friends and networks and family across the world. Today we are streaming live from the Digital Living Research Commons at Aarhus University. And first of all, on behalf of the IoT Week team, I would like to say so extremely huge thank you so much. Actually, why we are here, the whole reason that this is going to happen is thanks to Aarhus University and the whole Smart City division over here. We'll get back to that when Martin gets the microphone in a minute. But actually what we are showing you today is what we have been gathered, and actually the status of our dreams. Since the last year we have been working on IoT Week, and as many of you know, that is from the 17th to the 21st, so from Monday till Friday in week 25. But the three main days during the event is Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, 18th, 19th and 20th. And that is also where we will have the public exhibition. And why a public expo during an IoT Week? For two reasons. First is our dream of actually having the Congress be a part of the city and opening the doors, not for the technical and strategic business sessions inside. That is for the visitors actually buying a ticket and joining the event. But many of you, I bet, have experienced the same as I have, visiting a conference and actually passing by on the street and not even noticing that it was there. And that's the beauty of IoT, is that it actually affects all of us. The sensor itself doesn't care if it's in a classroom, if it's in a stable full of pigs, or if it's a square in a city. It gathers the data that we set out to gather. And that's the whole idea with the Public Expo, is actually with our partners to create an area where we would welcome everyone from our future change agents, namely the kids from around age 10 and up. At least here in Denmark, they are working with ultrabits and microbits and learning how to code. We have Lego joining with build the change concept. We have different sessions sort of targeting the whole education sector. And being a bit more concrete, for each of the 3 days you have here, we will actually be open from 9 o'clock in the morning, 9 a.m. till 5:30 p.m. in the afternoon, with the expectations that the morning sessions all the way till lunch will be mainly school children and middle school and gymnasiums and so forth, university students as well. And in the afternoon, we will do more of the product and cases and demos and everything, where we expect some of the participants from the conference to join the Public Expo, but also some of the citizens of Aarhus, some of the companies and public organizations actually coming and experiencing status quo. And that is exactly the point of the Public Expo. The dream we formulated back before Christmas was prove it, don't promise. So actually being able to show the rest of the world what is the current status, what is happening right now. Think of this as a reverse hackathon where we're actually showing the solutions to our guests and asking them, well, what do you feel? Would it be okay for you to meet a humanized sized drone meeting your ambulance and flying to the hospital without any drivers or anything? So that would just be you alone in the drone on the way to the hospital. It will be self-driving cars, smart farming, but I'll leave all of that up to Eva, who has been handling together with Gail our design thinking of the entire area. But with that welcome, I think the 3 main days you need to reserve and share to all of your network is Tuesday the 18th, Wednesday the 19th, and Thursday the 20th of June here in Aarhus. With that said, I think I would like to pass the microphone on to Martin Brunskov, who can tell you a little bit more about our thoughts and joining the entire reaching out disciplines. Martin, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Hello, guys. Just to show my face, I'll turn it off again just for the bandwidth. Thank you very much, Carsten, well, for the introduction and certainly also for setting up the whole IoT week here. My name is Martin Brunskov. I'm a professor at the Aarhus University at the Center for Digital Transformation of Cities and Communities, and also very much involved in how IoT, as you say, Carsten, really affects all of us. So what we wanted to bring here to the IoT week was actually to show on the ground, not just for those who are paying through the nose to get into the conference, but also to the public, to the children, to the families, to the politicians, to everyone. What does it look like? IoT, what does it mean? We're very happy that so many of you have connected to this idea. I travel a lot. I see things in Asia, in the US, in Europe, in Africa, India. It's coming everywhere. And what we really want to put on here is a showcase of how far are we, maybe how far away are we from something which is really different than what we know already. So thanks for joining up, and especially thanks for master planning here, Eva and Jeff from Gail. We also have other colleagues here that are supporting the efforts to create a really nice frame, not just for the audience, but also for you, the exhibitors who have things to show. So the joint ambition here is now to create a wonderful experience for both sides, to really give something concrete to everyone to bring back to your companies, to your communities, to your organizations, so that we can shape a nice path forward. So I think I'll give the word to you, Eva, just to walk us through some of the vision around the master planning.
Okay, thank you, Martin. Hi, my name is Eva Horakova. I'm an architect and an urban planner, just to introduce myself. And I'm here on behalf of the Aarhus University. We team up together with the Gale architects and Jeff Rizom, who couldn't be here today with us presenting. But our overall vision was to create a vibrant place with a merge of IoT topics and themes, to enable the visitors to experience how does it feel to live in a smart city and how does it feel to be in the smart environment. And before I start presenting you the broad vision for the Public Expo Master Plan, first of all, I would like to thank you for joining today. And also, I would like to thank to all the exhibitors who already filled in the templates, because it's been very helpful for all the stuff I'll be presenting here today. Can we get to the next slide, please? So let's start with the venue. This is the picture you all who had chance to see the templates and fill them in, you saw this picture. So it's just briefly telling you where is the area. So the expo area is between the music hall, the Aarhus, and the Musikhuset. And we will be using the A area, which is the Musikhuset, for the inside part of the Public Expo, and then the areas of B, C, and D for the outer part of the Expo. And the areas of D1 and F are designated for the conference that's taking place in the Musikhuset. Next slide, please. So here are the basic themes of the Expo. And we can also see the distribution within the different topics, which is on the next slide. So we can see that for the indoor exhibitions, we have almost 300 square meters of exhibitors. Some of the topics are merging, so this is just brief numbers. And then on the next slide, we can see that almost 300 of square meters of the outdoors exhibitors. So the topics that are mostly being exhibited relate to the smart cities and the smart living and e-health, but there are many of other topics also incorporated. So can we go for the next slide, please? So when we started with the master plan, we were thinking about the flow of the visitors. So on the left picture, this is the normal daily flow of people going around the venue. The information was taken from the Strava app. And then on the right picture, you can see what kind of flows we assume for the Expo. And then next slide, please. And after seeing all those, we came up with the master plan idea, which is basically the explanation of what the IoT means. So it's actually it's 3 words coming together. It's the virtual space, physical space, and a spiritual space, and you can link those directly to the topics. And it creates the idea of the whole IoT altogether. So taking this idea, we can see on the next slide, that it can be actually divided into 2 ways about how to think about a space. So one of those, it's about merging the themes. So we are thinking about creating, let's say, very simply, 3 plazas, but all of them having a bit different way of feeling when you stand there inside. And one of the ideas is to have merging themes, or on the other way, we can do, like, let's say, thematic plazas that are more staying within several topics. On the next slide. Yeah, this is the way how, in the first initial broad idea, we can transfer the idea from a scheme to a more like planned scheme on the place for the Expo. So this is the idea for the Expo of the merging themes. You can see the 3 plazas, or public space or shared space for the booth, where they can present their ideas, presentations, and demos in a gray color. And then the other colors are the exhibitors. I don't know if it's visible, but it's already linked to the specific exhibitors, as they were stated to being outdoor or indoor. And then on the next slide, yeah, this is how it could look like when the topics were a bit more consistent and not merged too much. But yeah, these are 2 ways of how to think about the space. We are working on those, and then in the next step, we will define which one of those idea concepts is the better one and which one we're going to carry on afterwards to create the master plan in more detailed way. And then on the next slide, this is the idea for the internal exhibition that will be taking place in the Musikhuset. So there is a learning area next to the smart cities area. There will going to be the Lego exhibition and an area for kids. And then also all the participants about the data and 5G and intelligent systems and everything. And then the right part of the building will be designated more to the smart farming and the smart living and e-health. So you could see how it is to live in a smart house, what the smart hospital gonna look like, and also how the food production and the smart farming and this like all together, what kind of life it can create in our future smart cities. And I think there is next slide saying what are kind of the next steps with the master plan. So thanks again for everyone who filled in the templates. But the next step will be to get the further information from those exhibitors who haven't filled in the templates yet, or who haven't filled everything in the templates. Because, for example, the square meters or the topics or what the presentation will be about. It also has to do something with the needed components like electricity or other supplies. And when Carsten was presenting the program, that the time before noon will be designated for schools and excursions, and afternoon will be the program for the visitors from the city and from the conference. If you have any desired presentation plans and schedules, this will be the next part of the master planning as well, to see like what is going to be the time schedule for the days and which area will be selected for the presentations. And after that, we'll provide specification for the particular components, from the ideas to the master plan concept to the, let's say, more detailed planning. And I think that's all. So thank you for joining today.
Thank you very much, Eva. Carsten, do you want to add some comments? Maybe we can put have the next steps stay on the screen, just because probably questions and so on will be related. We will take a couple of question and answers now, both here from the GoTo channel and the YouTube channel. But Carsten, do you have some remarks now?
Yeah, basically, and again, thank you so much for the presentation, Eva. I've been talking to a lot of the partners that both filled out and are maybe still a bit curious in what is this going to be like, because we're not sure if we fit. So I think this will help a lot to see that this is actually something that we can include everyone in. Two things. I would like to mention that we have rented the 2 stages at a local theater called Boa Boa. So it's on the other side of the place, the city square, which means that if you, for example, would like to do a presentation indoor or anything, that would also be an option. And the second thing I would like to add is that the whole idea behind this expo is actually the same as the status quo we're challenging for the IoT week. I don't know how many of you have participated in IoT weeks before, but it is the top researchers, scientists, and developers from all around the world. But for the first time ever this year, we are actually also inviting under one umbrella what we call the strategic decision makers. So that's why this is such a fantastic opportunity to actually enlighten them and show them how applied IoT actually creates value and how they can rethink the way they do business, nevertheless, if it's a private company or if it's a public organization. But I think with that said, I think we should open the Q&A. Martin, you were so kind to offer your sitting and can see questions asked. So back to you, Martin.
Yeah, so sure. Just to explain the format here. So we will take some questions and we will answer, Carsten, Eva, and myself as best as we can. And then we will basically wrap up. So now the floor is yours. Just on the practicalities, so we do have 2 channels. We have the YouTube channel, we have the GoToMeeting channel. So please, those who are putting in from the YouTube channel, maybe just ensure that the moderators are also seeing that channel and can feed the questions into this one. So maybe, Carsten, you can have an eye on that. We have the first question here from Antonio, and it's a very simple one. So the companies who are involved in the Synchronicity large-scale pilot, which is the European IoT large-scale pilot for smart city communities, if they can attend the expo for free. So maybe, Carsten, you can explain what is the relationship between IoT Week as such and then the Public Expo, if you can answer that question. Thanks.
Yes, I'll try, and thank you for the question. Well, basically what we are offering here is an opportunity to exhibit, if you could, Katja, just go one slide back so we can see the area, both within Musikhuset and outside, further back one slide. But if you want to participate in the actual IoT Week conference inside Musikhuset and Aarhus, and join the conference and the 11 different tracks that we have, plus the Global IoT Summit, then you would need to buy a ticket. And we have right now early bird open running until the end of March, where you can buy tickets for a reduced price. You're also very welcome to contact me or my team if you have special needs or anything. But being able to offer everyone to join the IoT Week itself for free is not an option. What we are offering is that if you come with products and you prove it and don't promise in the Public Expo, this is where we can actually offer you, we have covered the expenses for the participants to join here. I hope that answered the question, but sort of two things, an open session and a more closed, or at least one where you have to buy to enter.
And let me say also, I happen to be the coordinator of Synchronicity, and of course I can give you a more detailed answer also from that question. So you hear that Carsten says the Public Expo you can engage for free. Well, there may be some expenses to electricity or something like that, but it's very low cost. If you want to be part of the entire IoT Week and all the sessions and the conference dinners and so on, you pay. From the Synchronicity side, you actually have the opportunity to use some of your budget towards this. So just saying that very explicitly, that we are allowing you to use some of the budget in the Synchronicity pilots towards being present here. I think it's a very important showcase for the Synchronicity pilots.
And if I may add a comment, Martin, actually some of the companies and organizations that have bought booth area inside are both doing something inside and outside. So for example, I think it's next week we go live and announce that we actually, and this is the first time ever it hits, but it's a closed session and not online, sort of. But we're actually announcing a Radio IoT Week. So on the Public Expo, we will have a Radio IoT Week actually streaming to the entire world. So as Martin says, think of this as a huge playground, and whatever you can do with your project to fit inside here, use it in the best possible way, and we're standing by to assist you with all that we can. Thank you.
So there's a follow-up question, if there's a limit for the number of people from each pilot group. I think this is, again, a very Synchronicity-specific question. I don't think for the Public Expo part, there's a limit. I mean, it depends on your level of engagement. So what it would take to demo, what it would take to man your station. And for the IoT Week, buying access to the event itself, that's easy. You can have as many as you want. I'm sure that Carsten would like to sell many tickets. But of course, the early bird ends by the end of March. I hope that clarifies NB.
Fantastic. And if while we are finding the next question, I can do a quick commercial. So what you do is you go to iotweek.org and choose register. You then choose what type of ticket you would like, and then if you have one of the different codes, or you can sign in as a researcher or through some of the partners, so you choose which type of ticket you would like, and you fill out your details and purchase the ticket, and maybe also highlight the gala dinner, where we actually closed down the Tivoli here in Aarhus, and making a closed event for all the partners and guests and everything. And for that, the participants of the Public Expo can also come into the Tivoli without having to pay anything. But if you're joining the gala dinner, that is also one of the ticket options in the public registration page. More questions?
So I would like to also invite questions on the next steps. So it's clear that Eva and Jeff have been working from what they had. So thank you for supplying initial descriptions of your ideas of what you can present. What will happen in the next round is that we will ensure, or we will encourage you to send any missing information. So that's step one. Step two is that they will go through let's say the extended and the detailed information and propose more or less a more specific placement or maybe just something more concrete than just a general, hey, do you want to join the expo? And then we would need your very concrete feedback on what are the timings. I mean, do you have something that would be relevant for the school kids? Do you want to show something every day at 1 that lasts for 10 minutes? Or is it like for 2 hours? Or, I mean, we need to understand much better and in detail the flow. So I don't know, maybe Eva, you can say just a few words about what are the key things that you think would be good to know in the next round from the exhibitors.
Well, I think, as you said, like the presentations and types of presentation and presenting time, that's great. And also like special needs or supplies like electricity or whatever is needed for the booth. If I mean, that's maybe the next step for us, but as incorporated in the planning, we should ensure that the exhibitors have as many of these supplies as they would like to have. I mean, count for the electricity and maybe other stuff.
Maybe, thank you, Eva.
I think.
Hello.
No, go ahead, Eva. I just want to ask something to Carsten as well, but you finish first, Eva.
Oh, sorry. I think we're just gonna make another template to fill in afterwards, if it's okay.
Very good. Okay, so that's a very concrete point. So the exhibitors that have not filled in, please provide what you have not done. And second, so Eva will provide a new template which is more detailed information. Carsten, could you say something about the logistics about this? So we talk now about electricity and so on. Are there any fees or expenses incurred depending on the usage? I mean, one thing is needing to have a table or a space for a roll-up, but if you want to fill, the entire park with EV vehicles or something like that, I guess that's a different situation. Can you give an indication of what is the threshold for, when we have to talk more about production expenses?
Yes, definitely, Martin. Well, basically, what we are trying to do is actually see if we can cover everything for you. So we keep this at a minimum. As I said in the first formula you filled out online, our aim is here to let everyone participate, even if it's 25 square meters or 100 for free. The only thing that I haven't got covered is if you are bringing something that would require power from a direct feed from the power plant or whatever, and using a hell of a lot of electricity or power tools or high pressure special needs, then we will of course need to discuss that. But otherwise, we're trying to handle everything. Just yesterday afternoon, I heard that some of the partners that are actually letting their students present their IoT exams at Musikhuset during this event have managed to talk to some local sponsors. So we're looking into getting some coffee scooters, ice cream, and things that will help make everything in the Public Expo a bit nicer. But if you have special needs and know you would require something, please let us know. And as Eva said, we will do a more detailed registration form for you to fill out when we get a bit closer to the event and you know what you're going to use the 15 times 10 meters that you have been given for. Also, I could add, you mentioned the vehicles, Martin. We know already that, for example, Sigis is bringing with their partners some cool smart farming equipment. So we have also in the budget calculated that we will have guards manning the area at night. So of course, Musikhuset will be locked down when we leave it, but we will have guards patrolling the outside during nighttime from Monday evening until Thursday evening. I hope that answered your question, Martin.
Yeah, thank you. And I think it also answered the question that Francois had in the chat. So he asked whether the items displayed in the public exhibition outside will be guarded. So just to repeat, so Carsten, what you say is that there will be guards when the Public Expo is closed. So that is after 5:30 in the afternoon and before 9 in the morning. So during the nights, Monday until Thursday afternoon, right? So it's possible to put up your stuff on Monday and then leave it in the evening guarded. And then you have to take it down by Thursday or guard it yourself, right? But actually the period in between, outside of opening hours, there are guards on duty, correct?
That is exactly correct, Martin, because we, as you expect, if you have seen the entire program for the IoT week, during Tuesday morning, we are registering around, well, any type of number between 1,000 and 1,500 people in the music hall. So tractors going back and forth might actually lower that number if they run over the participants. So we are hoping that at least for the larger things that they are being brought in during Monday afternoon and Monday evening, and hence the guards are there from Monday evening also.
Okay, very good. So, Francois, I hope that clarifies, and it seems like it. We have another question from Archimate Solutions. So that's actually a very simple one.
Thank you.
Carsten and Eva, so the colleagues that have submitted, do they get an official accept or not accept or conditional accept feedback, or is everybody accepted, or can you clarify how your thinking is about that? Maybe you first, Carsten, and then you, Eva.
Yeah, but, again, I also had a question. Thank you for the question. I had a question similar to that last week. And basically, what did you do the last time you did this? And this has never been done before. So sorry for us also sort of feeling our way forward. But all the ones that have now filled out the online form are accepted. And the only concern I actually had was, what if we have 500 and we run out of space? But as you can see from the fantastic drawings that Eva and Jeff has made, we actually have room enough, and we even have room to grow. And we also have enough room inside Musikhuset to make sure that if suddenly some of you find out, oh my God, we applied for 25 square meters, would it be possible with 35 or whatever? Because as your own booth evolves, you find out maybe we could also do this or that. So basically, all that have applied are accepted, so you can count on that. And yeah, I think that answered the question. Yeah, you will, as we get more, as Eva also said,
thank you so much.
The microphone to you, Eva. But it will be more concrete, and maybe we'll do an MOU or TSC, whatever. So the worst case for us is that you don't show up. So it's equally important for us that if we schedule a room for you to do with future XYZ, that we can count on you being there, because when we settle that in the next phase with Eva, we are also maybe saying that someone else can't be there. So yeah, thank you. Eva, would you like to comment?
Maybe just like, I was trying to put everyone in the drawings, and if you haven't found yourself, it's just by mistake.
Fantastic.
So that also means, Eva, if I may just make that explicit, we will share these slides also to all the participants, right? So we create either a mailing list, or we will give direct information about this. I think we will certainly put we will share the proposal that you have now presented. It will of course be here in the video, but we should also share on the side, and we should do that either direct via email, since we have it from the registration, or we will wait when we do the IoT Week Public Expo program on the website. We will ensure that it's available there. I don't know if we can tell already now what will happen immediately for the sharing. Carsten, I don't know if you have any specific feedback for the colleagues here, or we wait and inform later.
We will gather all that we have in a mail and share to all the contact persons we have from the online form. And please also share the link for today's site, at least for the GoToMeeting, where we have the slides and the recording and everything. Please share. And otherwise, let us know if you are impatient and think in a couple of weeks, oh my God, we didn't hear anything. Let us know. Better safe than sorry. But we'll try to wrap everything up neat in an email, so you have everything.
Good. We have 2 more questions at least, but please keep them coming. So we have a very interesting. Now we get to the interesting part, and that's close to your comment, Carsten, about tractors running over people, which will of course not happen. So Francois is asking, would we be able to fly large drones over the area? Now, I don't know, Francois, if you can qualify what is a large drone. Is that the, drones can be rather large, actually, like independent unmanned aerial vehicles. They can be up to very so 20 kilograms. Okay, so we get to another part of the whole planning, and that is safety. We of course have regulations to live up to. This is in the center of the city of Aarhus. We are next to City Hall. We have more than 1,000 people visiting the whole thing, as well as the public running in and out. So there will certainly be some regulations like fire and traffic and so on that will be put into the master planning. But then we will also have to assess, and probably we will need you to help us flag, like you do now, Francois, if there's something related to your demonstrator which requires extra admission or approval by authorities, or maybe even by the organizers. So, I mean, we are in the country of Denmark. We don't have any exceptions from the laws regarding drone flying. I give you the word to you in a moment, Carsten, but just to say that, Francois, in order to get anything like that off the ground next to City Hall, you would require to get a permission. And you probably also would have to have the drone, the drone driver or the pilot would have to be certified. So there are very strict rules about drones. So for each of these pilots and demonstrations, we probably need to take them case by case. But do you want to say something here, Carsten?
Yes, just a small comment, because I think you explained it very good. I think it would be fantastic with live demos, and I think, as Martin said, the drone pilot has to be certified. That's the rule here in Denmark. But we have contact with the authorities, we have contact with police and everything. And again, under the headline, prove it, don't promise, I would be extremely sad myself if I see a drone on the ground that we can't fly with. But of course, we don't want to break any laws or anything. So I think we need to take it from case to case, but we have a team here that would love to assist. So I think let's see if we can find a solution to actually have the drone flying here in Denmark, maybe on specific times or in a specific area or whatever. But that would definitely be the solution that we would be working towards as well.
Very good, Francois. Did that answer your question? I think the short answer is yes, you probably can. Well, from our side, the organizers, you can, but you would need very specific permissions, and you would need a certified, probably I don't know if there's EU regulations on that. It's still in the making. But Denmark is very liberal, actually, compared to many other airspaces. But you still would need a licensed pilot. So I would encourage you to follow up as soon as you can to check the regulations in Denmark regarding certification for drone traffic.
And we'll help with that, definitely.
Good. This is where the fun begins, right? And also,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, we are putting up this Public Expo in the city. It's right in the middle, and it's really an exhibition space which is surrounded by cultural institutions. So while we don't have residential concerns, so the residential areas are protected by the buildings surrounding this space, it is in the middle of the city. So every regulation that applies to inner city conduct applies to this space as well. And it's part of our point. We don't want to just, go into an exhibition hall and say, oh, here's a PowerPoint and here's a roll-up. We want to show on the ground and on the street what is actually going on. We think that the public deserves that. Okay, do we have any comments or questions from the YouTube channel? Just asking to be sure.
No, not. I think they joined the GoToMeeting for questions also, so none at the moment.
Okay.
Just a small note for the drones. Don't bring the autonomous drones, weapon-enabled. Just do normal drones. The worst case is a camera on them.
This is Danish humor, just to say that this was an ironic comment. Don't even think that we are endorsing anything they like.
Definitely not. That was black Danish humor.
Okay, so let's see if there are any more questions. Otherwise, we will start to conclude. Any more comments or questions? While we wait for your feedback, I think what we should also propose, Carsten, is to pick out actually the main questions here and put them probably in the comments when we put the video up on the YouTube channel, just so that you don't have to watch the whole 45 minutes in order to get the answers. I think it would be good just to have the Q&A really summarized, because I think there was some really key questions, so we can have like a frequently asked 5 or 6 questions in the comments to the video. Maybe that's a good service to the audience.
Yes, we'll try to include that in the email. We have one more question. I can see there is still the possibility for the other projects to apply in the upcoming period. Yes, definitely there is. Yes, the answer is yes.
Okay, so from Archimate, that was a clear.
Thank you so much.
And I can see, so also Mads, thank you, Mads, joining from Rambøll, the engineering company, supporting us also a little bit here on the master planning. To Francois, so here's the formal information about the rules for drones in Denmark. And I think Mads is a very good source for this. So being a construction engineer, I think I'm correct on that, Mads, but please correct me if I'm wrong. You have a focus actually on the rules and regulations around these things. So we're a team. We're bringing different perspectives. Some are creative, some are more like operational, some are logistical, some are safety related. We try to support you to really cater for showcasing your nice demos in the best possible way. Maybe also, Carsten, a word on expectation management. So we are not putting up the World Expo. We didn't have 3 years to plan. what we try to do is a quite honest and in many ways modest but ambitious collection, integrated collection of the state of the art of IoT for smart cities and communities. So please work with us on that expectation level. We want really to impress, I think, the audience, but we also want to be honest about what we can do until June, and we want to be honest about what is the state of the art. We don't want to be just a pure future marketing department for things that will never be. We want actually to have a conversation and inspire a dialogue with the public, including the politicians, the companies, the families, and everyone who wants to join that conversation. This is why also the Public Expo, so while it represents all aspects of the IoT week, it has a focus on cities and communities. Now, why is that? Well, that's because cities and communities is not a sector. Cities and communities is all of us. So while this is in Aarhus, it could have been anywhere. This future will come to us all on the savannah, in India, in Asia, in the US, on Times Square in New York. It will come to us all. So we want to bring this conversation into a context, but we cannot orchestrate in complete detail what will happen. And it's not going to be this Disneyland experience or even Legoland. You have to go 100 kilometers south. But we want to have this open dialogue, which is also open in the sense opening the box on what is actually already the reality. So please work with us on getting this balance between ambition and reality conveyed also in the production. So I think we covered the questions we have now here. Carsten, do you want to say a few words before we close the session?
Just very quickly wrap up from my side as well. I think you're very right, Martin. Leveling expectations is extremely important, and we could have done an extremely fantastic World Expo that would cost millions to participate in, and we chose to go the opposite way around. So I think it was a very good and crucial point to say that you're welcome to do almost whatever you would like, and we would love to assist you in creating this playground to inspire the participants to inspire themselves. But we're not setting up a new Eiffel Tower or anything, at least not in this conference or this year. Otherwise, on behalf of IoT Forum, who is of course the official host of the IoT Week, IT Forum, where we come from, the local hosts, I would very much like to say thank you for all of you for joining today. I would send a really huge thank you to Aarhus University, to Gel and to Rambøll, and to the city of Aarhus as well. We can't do this without you guys, so thank you so much. And we still, even though you know us a bit better now, we look very much forward to our cooperation in creating a unique conference experience in this Public Expo area. So thank you from my side, and thank you, Martin.
Thank you, Carsten. Thank you, Eva. Thank you, everyone, and talk to you soon.
Yeah. Thank you so much all, and have a fantastic, amazing afternoon, and we'll look forward to talking to you again. The sooner the better.